And with the third pick, I made the earth stick.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bulls fans, welcome back. This is the Third Pick Podcast, man. It's your guy, Scott Mariano. You know to follow us on Twitter at Barberchair. Scott Mariano, let them know they can get tuned with you.
Man, on Twitter at Mariano, 2 N's, 2 O's. Like I tell you, she asked me for money, man, as usual. We here, we back.
We are here, the Barbers Chat Network. You know to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Barbers Chat Net.
Yes.
Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. It is free for 1 week. For this week, you know, we had a huge increase in subscribers last week, so we thanking y'all with a free week. New Summer Sessions episode is up. Cinema with the guys, break it down. House of the Dragon, so check that out right now. thebcnet.com. All the good stuff, man. But we're here to talk Bulls basketball. We've got a very special guest to kick off the beginning of the season, man. We'd like to thank the one and only Jason Goff for joining us today. He does the pre and post game for the Chicago Bulls on NBC SportsNet. He also hosts his own podcast on Spotify, The Full Go, man. It is an honor to have you here, man. How's it going down?
Man, I can't complain. I appreciate y'all for having me. You know, you slid me in this free week. I'm supposed to buy one, get one free off that.
But we appreciate
so everybody see. Yeah, we gotta make sure everybody see this, man.
It's all good.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you joining us, man. But, you know, everybody listen to this podcast. You know, we talk Bulls basketball, man. We are getting ready for a new season. Mm-hmm. I don't really know where my expectations are. You know, I kind of feel, I'm kind of been beaten to submission by, you know, really just Chicago sports teams in general. You know, and I know, Jason, you were talking about this on Pod about the Bears. I watch the Bears every time. I cover the team. I'll be at the stadium, like, you know, try not, you know, playing traffic or something. So we just all dealing with this at one time. So I'm hoping the Bulls have a better year. But what are your realistic expectations for the team? You know, you've been around the team. You were at media day. You've seen the stuff that AK and Mark Eversley did during the offseason. What's some things that you think Bulls fans can realistically look for this team this year?
I mean, it's all going to depend on how well this team defends. Obviously, after the first preseason game, there's a lot to be desired, but we knew what it was going to look like once Lonzo wasn't around for the beginning stretch of the season. So now they gotta, you know, it takes a lot for a team to lose a player like that in the middle of the season and keep going. But it also takes a certain refocusing of not only strategy, but, you know, like personal will when you have the person who impacts the team in such a really, really defined way, right? Like,
right.
Talk about, you know, intangibles, but tangibly what Lonzo Ball does for this team offensively and defensively is hard to replicate. And now that you know that you're going to start the season without him, you know, this is that test case for, okay, well, what is this defense going to look like this year? Now, going out and getting Andre Drummond so you can have a backup five that you can count on. There's a lot of things at play here. You know, going Dragic, hopefully rounding in some kind of form so when you do get to that playoff time, that winning time, that you have a veteran presence in the backcourt alongside Ayo Dosunmu, who's going to have, I think, a huge year because of the opportunity showing himself. Just a bunch of different storylines. Vooch being on the contract year and how that motivates him. Billy Donovan going into, you know, the second to last year on the deal. You never want to be a lame duck going into that last year, and I don't expect him to be, but just a lot of different little storylines that blend into everything that this team is expected to be. You're asking me if, you know, right now, best case scenario, I think they're somewhere around that fifth seed. You know, worst case scenario, they can be in that play-in situation, right? So the Eastern Conference is a lot better than we remember it being even 2-3 years ago. You know, the additions that Boston has made, the additions obviously that Cleveland has made. Miami's still Miami. Toronto's got a young and up-and-coming star, and Scotty Barnes, along with a team that doesn't quit. You know, and Atlanta, they go out and make one of the best acquisitions in basketball this year and go and get DeJounte Murray to take some of that defensive pressure off of Trae Young so he could be a little bit fresher in the fourth quarter and also have a running mate to get him off the ball. And, of course, you know, if Brooklyn decides to play, you know, it's them in Milwaukee in terms of the top of the Eastern Conference. And speaking of Milwaukee, I mean, you got the best player in the game and you got the team didn't have their second best player for a long stretch. And I think if Chris Middleton is around, the Milwaukee Bucks are probably back into the Eastern Conference Finals, back into the NBA Finals. So you got a lot of teams that are jumbled up in that 5 to 9 range.
Right.
I think that's where the Bulls may fall.
Yeah. Man.
Miami is so good. Like it's almost annoying how good Miami is, because every single year it's like, man, like how do they keep doing this? But you talk about Ayo a little bit, and obviously he had a great season last year. He came in, didn't look anything like a rookie. Like he looked just like he was established already. So now that we have Dalen Terry coming in, all the athleticism, all the explosiveness in the world, what do you think his impact can be? Do you think he can have an Ayo kind of year? What do you expect from him this year?
Well, I don't expect them to count on him as much, but the Ayo kind of theme, he wasn't counted on as much. Coming out of Summer League, a lot of people thought, including myself, that he may get some G League action. But he got thrown into the mix, and he showed improve, right? Like we saw this last time we saw this with a young player was Jimmy Butler, where he got thrown into a couple of those Knicks games, got a chance to guard Carmelo, show Tom Thibodeau what he was about, and you kept. It's kind of like when you got a reliever who you don't really trust to be a setup guy or be the closer, but you keep giving them high leverage situations, or you see him get out of situations where you're up or down big. And you're like, okay, next time I'm gonna give him another opportunity. That happened with Ayo Dosunmu, and he just blossomed. And then of course the injury to Lonzo forced him in to a situation that he was prepared for, right? Like he had some of his rookie misgivings, but that was expected. And once he got over those things, you never really saw him commit the same mistakes or have the same issues 2 times or three different times. It wasn't the same thing over and over. So, his trend of sticking, like absorbing things and then applying them, it was really remarkable, to be honest with you, because that's mostly it when we see rookies kind of struggle, is that they're learning things at such a pace in a game that they've never played before. And how do you apply it as soon as you learn it, whether it's a bad lesson or a good lesson? And Ayo did a terrific job of that last year. Dalen is not going to have the same impact, obviously, because the point guard position was in flux last year after Lonzo. Kobe White tried that experiment. You saw that that's not his role. With Dalen, you got a whole bunch of wings on this team. Dalen's job is going to be make everybody's practices uncomfortable enough. Right, like Dalen Terry is one of those dudes who's going to run through walkthroughs, right, and probably piss off some veterans, but he's going to do what he got to do. And you saw all those skills on display, even in garbage time moments of that first preseason game. He was still working hard. He's a guy who can be trusted in certain ball handling situations. Not going to exactly hand over the offense to him and say go run it, but you're not scared when he's got his hands on the ball. When he's trying to distribute, as you saw with that like little baseline pass, little pocket pass on the baseline, the guy's got some skills that are going to transfer. It's just the know-how, understanding coverages, because if you can't defend, you're probably not going to stay on the floor as a rookie, and making guys better in practice, which counts for something.
Right. And I think like even when you bring up Ayo and just like his role, and just seeing like I think Kendall Gill said this, and you guys media day conference, we was talking about like how you see the growth from him from Morgan Park. He got better each year. When he was at U of I, he got better each year, and that's something that you can expect from Ayo this year. And it's like with Dalen Terry, it's like if he could just give you anything off the bench, I feel like that's going to be able to help, because AK and them have preached continuity this year, like bringing everybody together, because we know how they look when healthy. And then to me, this gets to the number one thing for this entire season. Patrick Williams, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do we need to see from Patrick Williams? And we talk about like different culture, and me and Mariano has talked about this before, where, even though it still got to translate on the court, but just having a vet like DeMar, bring him under his wing, have him out here in LA, being at Drew League and Compton, things like that. He's having them really like bringing the effort and like, I guess like the consistency that you need from a pro. So like, what do you need to see from Patrick Williams on the court that you feel can elevate the Bulls to maybe being in the top 4 conversation?
I mean, he is one of the most important players on this team, right? Like he's in the top 2 or 3. And I'm not talking obviously the best players, because you know who the best, you know where the money is
Right.
on the squad. But in terms of importance, I couldn't agree with you more. He's got to be aggressive in the spots that call for it.
Yeah.
And there's got to be times where he's aggressive in the spots that don't call for it. I'd like to see him be told you got to stop shooting or cool it out, right? Because he's definitely got the physical tools to be an impact guy in the NBA. He just, after a while, when everybody's telling you something, you kind of just settle into who you are. The problem is he's so young and he's already missed a season due to injury that, you're going to get into this dangerously uncomfortable Lowry marketing territory where you got to figure out, if you're playing a guy, right? Yeah. And you know what he is. And I'm not comparing Patrick to Lowry, but I'm talking about the situations of, a contract clock is coming up, and do you know what you have? If Patrick Williams goes out here and averages, 14 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists a game, then I think you cook him with gas, right? And I don't want to put exact numbers on it, but he has the talent to. If a third, fourth option on your team is doing that, then you're talking about a contributor. So you got to, and it's up to Billy Donovan to put him in positions where he's not just relegated to catch and shoot corner threes, or you got to call some stuff for him and get him involved in the game so much so that he can't turn it down, right? I remember when I was a kid, my uncle used to just push me in the rooms that I wasn't ready to be in. Yeah. And say, hey man, you sink or swim.
Do what you gotta do, right? Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta put people in uncomfortable positions so they understand how much growth is necessary or how far they've come. And lastly, you just got that's the kind of dude you got to pump up and tell that you're the baddest man on this court. Like no matter who believe it or not. Thad Young, a couple years ago, I'll never forget. We were talking to him, and he would constantly walk up to Pat and in summation say, "Hey man, there's a reason why you here. Like good teams don't get the 4th pick in the draft,
right?
So there's only a few dudes who should be eating before you, if that. So once he gets that in his mind, then I think he will reach his full potential. It's just getting through the deference and just his nature of being a humble, good kid. But out there, the league ain't waiting on you to have manners. So it's one of those years where your career is not on the line, obviously, but you
gotta make it shake.
Time to see what's up.
Start to cook. So I think he's got it in him. You just got to see more of it more consistently.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just got this. Not to cut you off, man. I just got this. Kind of like a double last question. Both of us kind of got for you. So one, we saw on your Instagram post, you had a picture with you and Ozzie Guillen, and you were doing the Sox, post game. So one is, as a fellow Chicago guy, I just wanted to know what your, how does it feel to cover this Bulls team? As you being from the area, I know just even me. Covering, I'm blessed to cover the Bears. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of traveling back and forth from LA and Chicago, but they're just my favorite teams. It feels a little different. So I just want to know what it's like for you. And by the way, congratulations on your new deal, for you to be covering the Bulls and just see what it's like, and just be sitting next to Ozzie again. And then my man's had a question about the poster. What would you name your album that you said you got an album coming?
If I had an album coming, that's great. It's a dream come true, man. Like every day, I know it's cliche or whatever, but we're in a privileged position to be able to kick out content on the things that we love growing up, and it's not for everybody. So once you get to a point where it's like, okay, it's like, this is my life. Like, obviously there's ups and downs in the business and professionally and personally, and you got to carry yourself a certain way and make sure that you're representing not only yourself, but the people around you as best as possible. But yeah, I wake up every day grateful and thankful and looking forward to something. And that's, what I get a chance to talk to, guys like yourself, or get a chance to go to the UC and watch basketball. You know what I mean? Like it's what I dream of doing when I was 9, 10, 11 years old. So to have a chance to host the last pregame of the season, because it was Yom Kippur, Garfine, he hosted the post game in recognition of Yom Kippur. I got a chance to do that last game of the season. I grew up watching Isaac Guillen.
Yeah.
Right? He was one of my favorite players, period, in sports. So to get a chance to not only cover him throughout the years, but like over the last few years, build a closer bond and, get a chance to talk to him normally, walk into the green room and it's Frank Thomas. And or walk to the green room and it's Kendall and Will, or, walk into the green room as Lance Briggs and Alex Brown. These are all people that I either covered, had personal experiences with, or cheered for as a child. So I'm in an incredibly blessed position. I don't take it for granted any day of the week. And it's just, it's been a fun ride. And I feel like, I'm 41, so I don't think I'm aged out the game yet. We're going to try to keep this thing rocking as long as possible. But I truly appreciate like the support and the good words that I've received from everybody along the lines of these last, 21, 22 years. I've been living the dream for a minute, man. So I can't complain. As far as an album, I
gotta know about that. I saw you say that. I saw you mention it, and we talked about this beforehand. It was like you said, no, new album soon coming. You put the Jordan gift up there. That's the Jordan gift. That's the legendary Jordan gift right there. Yeah. It's like, so I had to know if you were to drop an album, new album on the way, what would be the title? What do you think the title of your album would be? Your debut album?
Oh my goodness. Never Change.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's hard.
Yeah,
that's Blueprint, Jay-Z.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs of all
that's
time.
Hard.
Right, and my nickname is Jay, so you get the chance like
there you go.
You
ain't got to take the name out the first.
You on it. You on
Jay
it
every day.
You on see me riding down Lakeshore Drive. I definitely got all the windows down, blasting that. But okay, man, just trying to stay as comfortably and foundationally based in the stuff that I was raised in, whether it be professionally or my parents, and not straying too far from that while also growing as much as I possibly can. But we all got instincts, and we all know when things ain't right. We got nerve endings for a reason, and when they go off, you got to trust them. And in that, I think that my things are well documented.
I say if you can do it in Chicago, I don't like that you can do it in New York, you can do it. But if you can do it in Chicago, you can do it anywhere, man.
You can do it. If you can do it in Chicago, you have done it anywhere.
Right. Exactly. But thank you for joining us, man. I know you got a role, man. Let them know where they can get in tune with you. I know you got a podcast with Spotify, man. Tell them how they can get in tune with you and everything you're doing.
Yeah, man, the Full Go Podcast out Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Also, we got the NFL Ring feed that I'm on Tuesdays with Austin Gale. And, of course, pre- and post-game, starting October 19th. Like my man just said, we're gonna drop the new album on the 19th. These little singles that's getting dropped right now,
getting it mixed. Yeah, the vocals are ready, like DJ Khaled says.
Keep the streets fed for a little bit, and then we get to party on the 19th, man. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it's a long playoff run. Hopefully I don't have to go on vacation too quick. And
for real,
out here, man. But you catch us on NBC Sports Chicago. Any pre-post halftime, me, Kendall Gill, and Will. I'm looking forward to this season. Really am.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. We got a lot more to talk about here on Third Pick Podcast. Thank you for joining us, man. Y'all get tuned with Jason Goff, man. Thank you, bro.
Next time I'm gonna give you all of my time. I apologize for it being.
Man, it's all good, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate it all. Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all having me. No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Be well.
Yes, sir, man.
You too.
Thank you. And we want to thank Jason Goff for joining us, man. Third Pick Podcast. We're gonna be here with y'all each and every week doing this Chicago Bulls season, man. Let's get to our conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Time to talk, baby.
First time we talked in a couple months. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling, G? What's going on?
Damn, man. We had this conversation before about not necessarily being, too hype about the NBA. But with the Bulls having all these different storylines and a lot of things to follow, I think the one thing for sure is that we will be tuned into the Bulls every single game. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that will kind of, I guess because, whenever basketball goes away, it's just like, damn, man, it felt like it's been away forever. But when it comes back, we'll change our tune like we always do. Like, oh, okay, yeah, it's back now. I'm not missing that game. So I'm excited to see Zach. I want to see if he can take that real, hey, like, give me the ball, get out of my way type of step. You know what I mean?
Take that
like,
max contract.
That max contract step because he did get paid. We were advocates for him to get paid. And he got the deal. They really didn't waste any time. It was like, hey, look, just come back home, and I think he wanted to stay here, all along anyway. So I'm really just excited about Zach, man. I know DeMar is DeMar. He's gonna do his thing regardless. IO, I'm excited about. It's just the Bulls, period. I'm anxious to see him.
Yeah, with me, man, it's kind of like it's every time the NBA comes around this time, it's like I don't really get excited for the NBA, but I'm gonna watch every damn Bulls game. Like I'm in these 82 games. At the bare minimum, I'm getting in at least 65, 67. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
At the bare minimum. So this team is like, I feel like I said this when Jason's on, I feel like I've been beaten to submission by Chicago sports teams, but it's like to the point I don't even get mad no more. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Bears lost the Giants, I just text Mariano like I told you.
Yeah, what's crazy is leading up to that, I text you and said, hey, bro, congrats in advance because we're going to make Justin Fields look like Lamar Mahomes out there. And I won't lie. That kid got some heart, man. He really got some heart. I got to give him his credit, even though he went to that putrid school that I will not speak, of. But he got some heart. He got some heart, man. I like him. I got to give him his credit. He made some great throws. I know you don't want to hear all that shit. Like niggas lost,
no.
But I mean, I get it because you are a very, very different person than you were before when the Bears used to lose games. Hey, I will say that right now. Let me applaud you right now.
Acknowledge that.
I gotta give you credit, and I think everybody who's been following you, everybody that knows you in real life, they got to give you credit, man, because the Scott that we used to get when fuck losing the game. We talking about if they go down 10 points.
Yeah.
It's a meltdown. Now he be like, hey, what you gonna do?
Well, that's the one thing that happens when you become a media person and you're there at the game. It's like, one, I can't react the way I want to at the place. Like, I remember when I was at the what game was that? The last home game they played the Texans.
Okay.
And Justin just like floated the interception. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, and I'm sitting there like under my breath, but I'm kind of loud. My brother like, man, chill out. We up here. And I'm just like, and I was like, what was he throwing? So it's like when I do get mad, I gotta like put it under my breath. Was like I'm around the team. I see like these players like. I think when you're a fan and you're not around the players, you just see them as like just players. When you're around it, you see them as human beings a little bit more.
I got you, yeah.
So it's like I'm not cussing these dudes out when I see how hard they work during the week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
So it's like being peeled behind the curtains. Like I'm not saying I don't get upset, but it's like once the game's off, it don't bother me no more.
Right.
It don't bother me more.
When it's going on, like obviously being a fan, it is what it is. But now you got to be like the meme with the vein is popping out the side of the city, like
right. Like we was talking about the game after the Giants game. My man texted like a paragraph, like all the stuff. I was like, bro, I don't. Nigga, Targaryen's about to come on in a couple hours, bro. I don't know. House Dragon, bro. Like, and that's why I feel like I am with like all my other sports teams now. Where it's just like I'm rooting for them. I'm pretty sure Zach gonna do some shit that's gonna make me want to throw my fucking remote this year. But when the game goes off, I don't let it affect me. So I'm glad that you peeped that because I'm trying to tell you. I'm not the same guy anymore.
Nah, hell nah. No, not even close. Not even close. But
and it's good. It's good because you don't want to be yelling and stuff. Like I'm gonna be 34 in a couple weeks, man. I don't want to be getting mad over shit like this. But
I say that all the time now. I'm telling you, I'm 34 now, and I said I'm like, I'm not gonna yell. I don't want to yell because I don't want to. So I say that I say it out loud so that I can hear myself saying it to myself, and I'm like, I'm not gonna yell.
I don't want to get into any type of drama, none of that shit, man. I'm cool, man.
Najee Rumble, man.
Right. But, let's talk about, off season, because we haven't recorded. Last time we recorded was right after the Bulls like a week or two after the Bulls got eliminated. We got our season recap.
Right.
And, we told all y'all not to worry. We told y'all Zach was coming back.
Yeah.
And it happened right away. He didn't make us wait. Happened. I love how he did it with the Wolf of Wall Street, which is my
Yeah, that was beautiful.
probably my second favorite non-Marvel movie. My favorite movie, y'all know if y'all follow me, is Rush Hour 2. Don't play yourself.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Yep.
movie. But Wolf of Wall Street's probably number 2. And I love how he announced that. But for the offseason, for me at least, I was underwhelmed. Now, at the same time I was underwhelmed, I also don't feel like there was any moves out there that made this team an instant contender or made them significantly better than it is right now. But I do feel like there's some bench players they could have got who are better three-point shooters, who are good wing defenders and did better. Now, their Bulls were also against the cap. You know what I'm saying? When you fuck around the cap as much as they did to be able to get Alonzo, be able to get a DeMar, and be able to trade for a Vooch, you're gonna have to deal with stuff like this. And I think the fucked up situation for the Bulls right now that a lot of fans aren't understanding is that there's really no way for them to get better outside of just maintaining or hoping guys develop. Because what's a big move out there? Who's the number 1 free agent in this offseason? You know what I'm saying? You really just gotta stay competitive, get in the playoffs, and hope a disgruntled superstar becomes available. Once I saw how much that Jokic was going to be, I'm like, nigga, I live in Maine for $265 million. So I'm like, I'm not even, that even crossed my fucking mind. So
yeah,
I felt like, there's still a 3-point issue. I don't like that there's not enough wing defenders here. I'm still worried about injuries. What was your thoughts on the offseason and how you felt with it going on and, heading into the season?
Yeah, I think pretty much the same. Again, I wasn't looking for just like some home run signing or whatever, because it's just like, it is what it is. I think we're building a good culture as well as a good foundation, and I want to root for a team that has a high floor, right? Like teams with high ceilings, sometimes you don't reach them, but a high floor, at least you know what you're going to get from this team night in and night out, and that can translate to season, right? Like, okay, This team is going to be a 40-win team. Let's just see how much more we can get over that, over that hump. Keeping Zach, DeMar, Vooch, hopefully all these guys, maintain their level of play. Vooch, please stop shooting so many threes. I know you make them sometimes, but please, man, please remember that you're a giant. Ayo, I expect him to get, better, him to play better, things like that. But yeah, just the lack of 3-point shooting. I'm just tired of every other team in the league having nice things except for us, man. Really, I love 3-point shooting when it's done right. It's just that I look around the league and it be the most random dudes I've never seen in my life, cash and shit, and we just can't do that. That's all I want for us is that the Drummond thing. If you told us that, like, oh man, like we missing is Andre Drummond and we going to the front, then no, absolutely not. But Drummond, that's just another body out there to rebound, you know what I mean, to get some putbacks and stuff like that. I saw what he did for Brooklyn this time there. Just a little dirty work, stuff like that. Dragic is a vet. It's cool. I just wanted more shooting, that's all. But I wasn't really mad. I wasn't really too mad because my expectations weren't really anything crazy. Just don't lose that. As long as you don't lose that, cool.
As long as you don't lose Zach, you're not taking a step behind it. And I think you say the best word. And I think that's the toughest things for not just Bulls fans, but I think sports fans in general is expectations. What are you really trying to get out of this? What realistically are you getting from this? And I also feel like we shouldn't take last year and what they did when they were healthy as something to build on either. Like, it's a new season, bro. Like, it's a new team.
Yeah, 0-0 now.
Lonzo's the biggest concern. Now, I do think there's a little bit of optimism to be had because, they said his surgery went well and the doctors feel like they found the issue to why he wasn't responding to the treatment. And, I feel bad for Lonzo more than anything. Like, fuck basketball, but he said he can't even run and jump, like just as a human being.
Yeah, that's tough.
And as somebody that's tough. With a daughter, kids move around a lot.
Oh,
you want to be able to run and jump with your kids. Yeah,
absolutely, you do. You know what I mean? Like you say, you feel bad for him just as a man. Like, forget about basketball. I'm a Bulls fan and all that, but we're people first. So whether or not he can play basketball is the least of my concerns right now. Yeah. As long as he's back in the mode of being like mentally at a place where he can move around comfortably and feel like he can, you know what I mean? Like, be productive outside, off the court. That's cool. The basketball shit we'll get to later, but as long as he's okay, that's more my concern. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not basketball is not that important when like your real life is on the line, and like you say, you can't even run and jump and do this. Like, now I will say it'll get you out a lot of those. Hey, grab them groceries real quick. It'll get you out a lot of those. And, boy, but yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's just one of those things where we got to listen to AK and them playing. They said continuity and growth, and that's what we really got to see from this team. My expectations is this, just straight up and down. This is the expectations I got. I could see this team. It could be April. We're getting ready for playoffs. This team could be the 4th seed. Wouldn't nothing be surprised me about that.
Yeah.
We can start the playoffs in April. This team could be the 8th, 9th seed. Nothing. I don't know about 9th is ridiculous. 8th seed. yeah. 9th is nasty. But 7th or 8th seed and nothing. Right. Yeah. So fuck 9th. 6 through 8. Let me do that. 6 through 8. It really wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. There was 6 through 8 either. But I will say, if this team is healthy, if they're healthy, big if. And then one thing we got to talk about, Zach was unhealthy. You know what I'm saying?
Like a lot last year, for sure.
And so, that thing right there is something that they really need to, I think his level of play is going to pick up, because not only because he's healthy, he's got that financial stability now. And I also got to give Zach some credit, because a lot of players are like, I'm not fucking up my money. I'm sitting up here on the bench. Zach played through that, and he played through it at a high level.
He was still being Zach. So, shout out to him for sure. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I think, nothing from seed 4 to seed 8 would surprise me. But if they're healthy and Billy coaches well, this team I feel like is the number 5th seed. I really feel like if you look at the East, and I do think the East is deep, but I don't think it's as deep as some make it seem. I really only think it's like, honestly, it's Milwaukee's conference to me. And I know Jason Goff brought up Brooklyn. He said the same thing. If they play, like Pavi says this all the time, the Brooklyn Nets are a concept. Until they actually show us what they can do and be on the court, I'm not including them in shit. And they still gonna have defensive issues.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ben Simmons still can't shoot. So I don't think even with us and them, when healthy, I think we're a better ball club than them. They have better individual talent, but they're not a better ball club. No, so only teams that I say is there's 3 teams I feel like that are like hands down better than the Bulls. It's the Bucks, it's the Celtics, and that is the Sixers. I'm not even putting Miami over that yet. So what's your expectations, or how you feel about this team roster-wise stacking up with the other teams?
Man, I think you said a lot of things that I would agree with for sure. Miami is just one of those teams that's, like I said, they're annoying. They're so good, they're annoying because they seem to get hot at the right time. They beat teams they shouldn't, but they also lose the teams they shouldn't as well. And I think stuff like that might, fuck around and bite them this year. Like you said, if we can stay healthy, because I don't see us losing some of those games we lost last year. Like you look at last year, we won 46 games. We could have easily won 50. Easily. We talked about this beginning of the season.
Won about 55.
Right. 50 minimum. You know what I mean? A couple of those games we had 10-point leads with 2 minutes left, and it just went to shit. Whatever, right? I don't expect that this group that has had a chance to play together, and also with the asterisk next to Pat Williams, if Pat is anything like what we expect him to be, put us at 52 games or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't think that's crazy to say, that we'll take that leap, with returning this group and then adding just, a little, a couple pieces. But when you look at the standings from last year, 53 wins won the East. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
that's a good point. That's a good point.
And I believe that we can get to 50 just off the rip. So I don't see why we couldn't be a 4th seed, because things happen. Things happen. Teams go through bad stretches. You might catch a bad West Coast trip, just whatever, right? But the Raptors were ahead of us.
Yep.
I don't necessarily see the Raptors being ahead of us this season.
And they didn't do anything this offseason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't do anything.
They were 2 games better than us. So I'm not really putting too much stock in us being, 6th last season. We were at times we played like a 6 seed, but at times we played like a 1 seed.
I think what I'm saying? The huge thing of it was, even outside of Lonzo, who went out pretty early, Caruso.
That was the one.
Caruso was a huge blow.
That was the blow, bro.
Zach's knee and Pat missed so much time. It's like they were rushing him to come back and be in the playoff form. So there's a lot of that. But even if you take Lonzo out, you know what I'm saying, that they would have been a better team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want this to sound like prisoner of the moment and like I'm being a homer when I say 50 wins is attainable. But it's like, bro, if you telling me we starting the season off with a healthy Caruso, healthy Pat, Zach is going to be healthy, playing, carefree basketball, DeMar's back, this don't sound like no 42-win team to me this year. You know what I'm saying? If we can replicate what we had last year and even, win some of those games that we had it right there. Like we said, we had the money, like we had.
There was a couple games you look at, they just blew. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, they did. So yeah, my expectations for this team, honestly, are I don't want to go too close to the sun and say, oh, we're gonna be a number 2 seed, because you never know. But anything below 4, I'm gonna have to see it. Like, I'm gonna have to really see what happened. Like, why is this? Why are we not at 48, 49 games? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta see it. Anything below 4. But like you said, with this team, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be shocked if I looked up. But that's only because the East moves so like 1 week, the number 1 seed can go down to 6th and be back at number 1 with a couple different switches, here and there. So it's gonna be a weird. I think it's gonna be a weird season, but I don't think we're gonna be some like down and out. We just had a fluke season last year. Like, nah.
Nah, I definitely don't think it's gonna be one of them, because you gotta look at the teams that did improve. Like, they have question marks too. And it's really interesting thing. I'm looking at the starting lineup for the preseason game. They're rolling with Ayo, Zach, DeMar, Javante, and Vooch. And they have Pat coming off the bench. Now, I'm pretty sure this is just Billy playing around with lineup, because we don't need Pat to be coming off the fucking bench.
Oh no, hell no.
So
not at all.
We don't need that at all, man. Let's talk about some of these off-season additions. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we got Dalen Terry, who was drafted by the Bulls this year, one of the top draft picks. We got Andre Drummond, who's coming over from Brooklyn, and we've got Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic is coming over. And this is a guy the Bulls have targeted for a minute. I've heard him. Remember last year when he became a buyout candidate, they were talks about him coming to the Bulls. And I feel like this is a guy this is the kind of guy you need. He's a veteran. He has playoff games, playoff experience. He knows what it takes to win. And that's a guy that you can fill in right for that starting position, and you don't really lose that much. I feel like he'd be even kind of like more of a point guard. I mean, obviously he can't do the same things that Lonzo can do, obviously, but I think he's more of a point guard than Lonzo is. And the more you have Dragic have the ball in hand, unless you got Zach and DeMar playing point guard, and they can have more opportunities to shoot the basketball and get in their spots, and it takes more pressure off of Ayo. So I really like that signing. Andre Drummond, I'm whatever about. Obviously, the Tristan Thompson experience didn't work, and Mariano called it when it happened. The Tristan Thompson experience didn't work, and we've seen a lot of Andre Drummond. Drafted by the Detroit Pistons.
Oh boy,
paid in Cleveland. I'm not a big Andre Drummond guy. I always say Andre Drummond is the perfect example of numbers lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at his stat sheet and be like, oh, this nigga had a good game.
If you don't watch the game, you think he's going to the Hall of Fame, bro. Right. Like, seriously.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, what's your thoughts on these new additions? How you think they can help the team?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Drummond, again, as long as he can just rebound, keep the possessions alive, give us, extra shots at scoring, block a couple shots here and there, just be a defensive presence. I think that's money well spent. You know what I mean? It's a big body down there that we need more of those, right? Like, you can never have enough of those in this league, the shooters and dudes going to the rack and shit. So as long as he can do that, money well spent, I got no problem with him. We're not relying on him to get 30 points, 30 rebounds, and all this type of stuff, and be the anchor for our team. Just get in, do what you can do. Dalen Terry, I think Jason, he said a lot of great things about him, where it's like, as long as you just come in and don't mess it up, right? You get in with the second, the third unit, whatever, and you just do your thing. Play a little defense. You know what I mean? Run that fast break a little bit. As long as he can get in, just don't mess the money up. He's good. He's a rookie. That position is stacked up already, so it's not like he's fighting for like the starting spot. Nah, like just do you. Dragic, I think I'm probably the most excited about having him out of these new additions, because he is a point guard. He's more of a point guard in the sense that any points you get from him is a bonus. Like, he's not a guy that you look at and be like, man, we got to get 20 from you tonight. If you get 20 points from Dragic on any given night, you might have beat the other team by 35.
By 30.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Real talk. So I do like him. Like you said, a vet. We can never have enough of that on this team, especially with the younger guys. Ayo's a guard. Learn from him. Things like that. That just it matters. It matters in the long run. It matters when you reach those tough stretches, and you might have lost a game you weren't supposed to lose. And then traditional Bulls teams, you might go lose the next game. You got a vet there. You got a couple vets there that can be like, look, stay the course, pick the young guys up, and then we can turn it around. And so a couple of those games that we lost and we shouldn't have are turning into W's this year. And that's how you get better. So Dragic is probably number one on my list of the acquisitions that we made.
Yeah, I really love the drag sign there. I do think DeAndre Drummond does help the rebounding. I think that was an issue for the Bulls last year. Rebounding is not a problem. His problem is the same problem everybody on this team has, and that is defending the glass. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not good on ball. Like they're not good defending the rim, which is a big problem. But I just think it's just really like the Bulls just got to look themselves in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Guys got to be better. Like I need Vooch to like step his shit up.
God,
like I understand. I know he being high. I was looking at shit on Zillow. It's funny and shit like that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You make fun of it because people were putting your name in trade. I get it. But my nigga, I'm gonna need you to do what we need you to get out here and do.
I told you last time we talked about it. You weren't good enough to be joking like this, bro. You know what I mean? You can't be doing shit like that, man. You gotta know. You gotta know, bro. So yeah, Vooch, man. If Vooch can be anything like we think he can be, bro, like we knew what he was when we traded for him. If you can be anything like that, we going to the moon, bro. I'm telling you, like
give me 18 and 12, Vooch. If you can give me 18 and 12, get your big ass in the paint because you know Stacey King gonna be saying it all season. It's a simple game. It's a simple game. Get your big ass in the paint and away from that fucking 3-point line, man. That's what I need you to do. Do that. I need that.
Please. We can say that every episode for Vooch, honestly. Like, please, bro. Please stop shooting. Please stop shooting.
I mean, there's stuff like the 3-point shooting is going to be what it is. This is not a 3-point shooting team. We even saw in the first preseason game, these niggas was 5 for 19. Like, that's just how it's going to be. But I will say this, and we talked about this a little bit on Summer Sessions last night. At the deadline, there will be pieces to be had. Because of how you pronounce my name, Victor is one of. I don't want to pronounce my name.
Yeah, I don't even want to disrespect him. I ain't gonna lie.
Victor W. We gonna call him Victor
Dub.
Dub.
Vic Dub.
Yeah, because of the Vic Dub sweepstakes. Niggas who are out of it at the deadline are finna be out of it. They finna be selling assets like Michael Jackson. So there will be some 3-point shooters and some wing defenders to be had at the deadline if the Bulls are still in the top 4, top 5 race like we expect them to be. And that's what you can get us. I'm not gonna put that on my need 3-point shooting to get better. That's like expecting somebody to do something they can't do.
That'll come just by way of just waiting out the rest of the league. Like you said, once teams start looking up and being like, we got to play who win. We probably trying to tank for Vic. What y'all want? Yeah, come through and just take your pick. You want him? Yeah, I bet take him.
And it's gonna be for little shit too.
Yeah,
little shit at that. But to me, all this is about Patrick fucking Williams.
That's really it. That's really it, bro.
We've been on this pod since he got drafted, and we've been talking about how much potential we have in him. The day for potential is done, and just like Jason said earlier, like we're not putting all the pressure on him. He's the spoke in the wheel of Chicago Bulls, but he's a very big spoke because if he, like I said, like Jay said, if he can give you a 15 and 8, the Bulls are really fucking good.
You give me 15 and 8 from him and 18 12 from Vooch, don't talk to me. I'm
going to take it even further. You get 15 and 8 from Pat. You get 18 and 12 from Vooch, and of course Zach and DeMar doing what they do. This is a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want nobody to talk to me if that's what's going on. If I look up at them numbers looking like that, please don't tweet me about your sports team. Please don't. Because I promise you I won't want to hear it. I'm gonna be listen, man. I'm gonna
be very unruly. Be very unruly with what's going down, man. And it's just like with the East, like there's teams that have like even we can talk about the Celtics. Them niggas ain't having the hottest start to the season.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of shit going on too. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know, man.
Of course, the Ime situation. They got a bench coach coming in. They stole Gallinari from us. Remember, look like we was going to get Gallinari.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and he tore his ACL.
We got to see what Tatum gonna do. Like, I mean, honestly, because that I don't think people really understand like the toll it takes on players that you see over these years when they have a bad finals performance. And these young kids right now that's on social media all the time, they see everything. They hear everything. They can't that doesn't just go away. So like we don't know. Maybe he comes out and he's like, yo, I'm gonna silence everybody. I'm gunning shit down, but maybe he doesn't. So like we gotta see. We really gotta see. I'm not really scared of Boston.
I'm not scared of them either.
I'm scared of that man in Milwaukee.
I'm scared of the niggas with actual big guys. Like, I'm scared of Milwaukee. I'm not scared of Philly, but I'm scared of Embiid.
Yeah. Philly, the only reason why Philly bothers me is because we just have not beat them since Embiid has been there.
Because
it's
Embiid.
Just a thorn in the. It's like, man,
because we have no answer for that nigga. Embiid
absolutely.
just be hoeing us, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a dog. He's a dog. So
I'm not worried about Miami. I'm really not. I'm
not worried about Miami when we play them. I'm just worried about them when they play everybody else because they look so good around the league. They be winning so many games, bro.
Yeah,
but
they're a regular season team. That's the thing about Miami. They are peak regular season team. We got Jimmy thinking he one of the Black Valerians out here with these bullshit ass dreads and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really worried about.
If we saw them in the playoffs at any point, I got my money on us. I wouldn't be worried about them in that kind of,
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more. I feel like, you know, when you hear national media and stuff like that, I think people are saying that what the East is better than it really is. Like, yes, teams have gotten better, and it's gonna be a dogfight really from seed 4 down on to 10. But include them other teams. There's no talking about the Bulls. Yeah. There's other teams who got question marks.
You know what it is, though, Scott? It's just that the East is better than it has been before. That's really what it is. Because the East spent so much time being terrible. The fact that we're all like a lot of teams
doing the LeBron James Invitational.
Absolutely. So the fact that a lot of teams in the East are playing competent to above average, you know, to good basketball, it's like, oh, the East is amazing. It's like, kind of, but I get it. But you know, we watch Eastern Conference basketball a lot. Yeah, the shit just better than it has been in like a decade or whatever. So it's like, just let's relax a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Let's not crown them. Let's not crown nobody yet.
Don't crown them. So let's think of what's some top 3 things that you have to, the top 3 things that need to happen for the Bulls. I put top 5 in the rundown. I'm gonna say what top 3 things need to happen for the Bulls to be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. Do you want to go or you want me to go?
You know what? I'll start it off because I think the number one thing is health. That's the number one thing is health. We have to get lucky when it comes to health and not have our major guys go out for extended amount of times. I know sometimes here and there it's going to be, you know, Zach got to miss this game because it is, or DeMar got to miss that game because of that. But hopefully there's no lingering injuries where this guy is being reevaluated in 2 weeks and we don't know what's going on. So health is number one. I think right behind that is rebounding. Absolutely. We used to get smoked so bad on the like to the point where it was like on possessions where if we could have just got a put back, it could have, you know, shifted the momentum or kept the momentum with us. We always let teams just run out on us and just, you know, especially when we play teams that we should beat, their offensive rebound juggernaut. So if we can rebound well, stay healthy, and I don't want to say 3-point shooting because we're not a 3-point shooting.
Yeah, it's not going
to. So I won't say that. I'll just say defend because we talked about that before last season. That was one of our gripes last season as well. Like, just defend, bro. Just solid defense. Like, we don't need you to go out there and, you know, do nothing crazy. Just solid defense, bro. Just that's all. Just solid defense. Stand in front of your man.
Put a hand up.
Yeah. Just put a hand up, contest a shot, whatever. So I really think those are the 3 things that if you are going to be a top 3-4 team in your conference or whatever, you're gonna have to do those. You're gonna have to get lucky with health. You're gonna have to rebound. Period. I don't care who you are. You're gonna have to rebound. You got to defend, man. Got to. Yeah. I don't want to get into shootouts and scoring contests with people and let's drop 130. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Because they got niggas out here who you know, they wake up and they score 35. Like,
yeah.
There's one thing you don't want to do is get into a shootout with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Sunflower.
Hell no. That's all they want. All they want to do is mix you. That's it.
Because they don't run actual offense in Brooklyn. You're playing right into their fucking hand by doing some shit like that, man. So for me, my 3 is, of course, health. Health like a motherfucker. And, you know, health with Jerry Reinsdorf-led organizations, as you see on the South Side. And by the way, cheap plug, he going episode 14 is out right now. If you want to hear us bury the 2022 White Sox for an hour and 15 minutes, go ahead and check that out right now on the bcnet.com. But I'm going to say health. I'm going to say health is 1. 2, like you said, defense. And like the reason the difference between defense and 3-point shooting is 3-point shooting is a skill. If you're not a good 3-point shooter, you can shoot that motherfucker 100 times. You're still not just going to hit that. Defense is about 90% effort. It's effort. Put a fucking hand up. I need better team defense. We can't be, like you said, we can't be having these shootouts. Put an arm up. I need to see, I know Zach has gotten better defensively. I need to take him to even another step because the eyes are on Zach. You've gotten the biggest contract in not just Bulls history, in Jerry Reinsdorf's sports own history. You made more than anybody who signed the White Sox contract as well. So the pressure's on you you don't want to be a year 2 from now like, man, we paid this nigga too much. Now, granted, I know it's the NBA, it's about market and not actually about actual performance. I get that. But I need Zach to step it up. I love DeMar for them game winners last year. I want to see that ball in Zach's hands this year.
Hell yeah.
My biggest complaint with Zach is in the fourth quarter of the games, he gets a little Westbrookish.
Yeah.
He needs to cut that out. So I need him to step up and be the true 100% go-to guy. But my number one thing, and I don't think anybody's brought this up, and I'm saying this as a guy who watched the White Sox too, because these comments they've been having in media day are scaring me a little bit. It sounds very much like what Tim Anderson and Liam Hendricks were saying in spring training. Fuck last year. I don't give a damn about how good you were before the injuries. That ain't lead to no playoff success. I don't give a damn about none of that. Fuck last year. This is a new year. It's a tougher East. It's a new team. If that, I want to see y'all. I want to say, yo, we got a toast. We got a taste of the playoffs last year. Yeah, we got punched in the mouth by the defending world champions.
Yeah,
we gonna come back. We're gonna play great team defense. Everybody got to step up, and we can do this as one big group effort. I want people to be scared to come into United Center. Yes. They know that they got to deal with a fight. And if Patrick Williams can be Patrick Williams and have that aggressiveness, and it's more about aggressiveness more than actual numbers to me, because if he's aggressive, I feel the numbers will come with it. If he's aggressive,
that's a good point. That's a great point. So I don't want to, like, and Jason said this as well, I don't want to get too caught up on putting numbers on Pat as to say if he doesn't reach these numbers then he failed. It just would be nice if the numbers matched the effort that he's given on the court. That's really it. So like you said, that's a great point. That's a great point.
I think his best game last year was that Clipper game at the crib. We know when DeMar hit the game winner or whatever, and he's huge in that fourth quarter. We need him to be there because they're going to give him looks. You know, we've seen it last year. Zach and DeMar gave him looks. But health also come to play too, because I shouldn't be here in year 3, and I know more about Ayo than I know about Pat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we heard the stories in training camp about Dalen going at him, and I kind of love that about Dalen. Dalen going at him. Keep what Matt just say, you got to get him back.
Yeah, you better get him back.
You better get him back. You better get him back. So it's like I need to see that aggressiveness from Pat. And if we get that along the things I just named, I think this team will be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Like I said, the one thing is, I know that we don't sound like homers because the team is that good. Like, I really want to make that clear. Like, this team is that good. It's just that at times they have a tendency to show the rest of the world that, like,
we like to play with our breakfast.
It's like we keep on telling them, like, no, look, I promise you he could do this, and you bring them out for the whole, and they like, you forgot now. It's like, bro, like, come on, my nigga, like what Hustle Man when he bought the dog out and shit, like, nah, he, you know what I mean, maybe he's sick right now or something, man. Maybe he was just doing all, come on, man, like, it's like that. So I really do want to see this team live up to their potential, because they have all of the potential, but all that shit don't get you nowhere, bro. You can't win games off potential.
Potential don't mean shit, bro.
Yeah, it really don't mean shit, man.
Can't take potential to the bank.
You give us something to look forward to and all that, but at the same time, enough is enough. Like, it's shit to get off the pot now, bro, because, like, shit is getting real. You know what I mean? Like, it's real basketball being played out here. So, you know, prove us right. Prove us right about y'all. You know, we think that you guys can be this great team in the East, great team in the league, period. And I think we can be a threat for anybody, like anybody, when we're playing, you know, at a high level, the level that we can play. So if they prove us right on this shit, man, then, you know, we having a different conversation come, you know, May and June and all that.
And this is a group effort. I'm looking at you too, Billy Donovan. And like,
absolutely.
I'm not taking you off either.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I need you with the zip ups and all. Like, you got to come on, my guy.
I need you to have better rotations, my guy. Yeah. I need to see better shit, man, from just overall. So we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna give our predictions, man. How many wins you got? What's the seeds you got for this team, man? How many we win last year? 46?
46. We won 46 last year. 53 was enough to take the East, which Miami did. You know, 76ers won 51, Bucks 51, Celtics 51. Man, this is tough.
I think I got my number.
This is tough. I guess the only thing is, like, I think that I have us at 49.
Okay.
I just don't know what seed it's gonna be, because I don't know what. So maybe 48 got the 5th seed last year, right? By the Toronto Raptors. So maybe this year the 49 might get you maybe that 5th, maybe 4th, depending on how these other teams look. Because if these other teams start going through health things and inconsistency, then maybe that number comes down a little bit, you know, for them. So I got us at 49. But I think either way, I got us at the 5th seed probably, maybe.
We agree on 5th seed. I'm a game lower than you. I'm gonna say 48.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 48. I don't want to put too much on them because I'm concerned about the health more than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just trying to calculate how many games these players are gonna miss.
For sure.
So I think 48 is a safe bet. I think 5th seed makes sense because I just feel, despite the problems that these other teams have, that Milwaukee's gonna have Chris Middleton back. They got the best player in basketball. They're gonna be prime time, man. They're gonna be prime time. You've got, even though Philly, they got Harden, but they that matchup problem for us. Yeah. I got Philly over us. Boston, they should be over us. And even like a team like Miami, and even not even Miami, I'm worried about Cleveland. I'm really worried about
Cleveland is team, they won 44 last year and they were the 9th seed.
Yeah.
So I mean, them being the 9th seed is very misleading because I think that they played a lot better than what they're seeding. So I mean, you are what your record says you are, but they won 44 games though, bro. Like that's not nothing to just like sneeze at. And they added Donovan Mitchell, so it's like, I mean,
they added Donovan Mitchell, another year of Evan Mobley, another year of development for Darius Garland.
Man,
listen, like, and that's a big ass team, man.
Them boys serious,
a big ass team. They were able to keep Okoro in the deal, and they're in your division. You know what I'm saying? That's the important thing. You don't want to finish 3rd in the Central behind the Bucks and the Cavs.
Oh no, hell no.
That's nothing. Win your division games, man. Win the games against these guys. So I'm worried about that. So I can see them anywhere, but I think 5 is safe.
Yeah, that first Cavs matchup is going to tell me a lot. Once I see us play the Cavs, I'm be like, hey, okay, cool. This is how the season going. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what's up. But
and those are kind of matchups I want Pat to take. I want Pat to say, I got Donovan.
Absolutely.
The defensive end of it, I got Donovan. You know what I'm saying? And that will help go a long way, man. So, as usual, we're going to be doing this show bi-weekly during the season because it's a long-ass season. Not going to be talking about 2 games every damn week, so we're going to be doing this bi-weekly. We still got about 3 weeks before the Bulls play their first official game, so we'll holler at y'all probably around, first or 2nd week in November for the next episode, man. You can stay in tune with us. And, to follow us on Twitter at Barberchair Scott Mariano. Let them know they can get in contact with you. Also, you got a new show. Tell them about that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, my brother. At Mariano on Twitter, 2 N's, 2 O's. My new show is out. We 2 episodes in. Episode 3 will be dropping. What's the 7th? So it'll be out October the 8th. It'll be out. Whenever you hear this, that episode should be out. It's called All for the Love. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify. Full episodes go up on YouTube. I mentioned Rush Hour on episode 3 on the intro to that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I talked about that a little bit.
Best movie of all time.
Yeah, so when that drop, y'all will get that. It's really just me on there, talking my shit, man. Whether it's sports, music, the culture, advice, life shit, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'm on there doing my thing, man. Shout out to my producer Bethany, the homie. You know what I mean? Gang. But holla at me, man. On Instagram at Mariano Bibbins. Catch all the content on there and everything. And we like you said, we'll be here. Third Pick Podcast will be back in effect. You already know.
And also, the guy behind those are amazing game day tweets is Mariano, man. He's gonna, he definitely.
Oh man,
on the Barbershop Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
he does a great job, man. So
appreciate it, man. Appreciate all y'all for tapping in and interacting with the tweets and all that too, man. You know what I mean? Y'all make game day, fun. Even when I gotta watch, the Giants. Don't let that record fool you, man. They put me through some shit these first 4 games.
You waking up early to watch them niggas go against my most hated enemy?
You already listen. I'm gonna wake up so early. It's gonna be like I gotta catch the flight and go do that. I'm gonna be up, bro. I'm gonna be up because they do this to me every year. You know this as a sports fan. Yeah. You go into the weeks like, man, whatever. I'm sitting there checking my phone. I see we got Landon Collins back, and I'm hype again. So.
Oh, he came back?
Yeah, he came back, yeah.
Oh, okay, shit.
Yeah.
That's a good look, man. It's a 3 TV setup on Sunday for me because we got, Red Zone, Bears game, and MLB playoffs, baby. So we got
about that time.
It's about that time, man. The best month of the year, man. So we got a new episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, which is out right now. Appreciate everybody who's been tuning in each week. We've been live this season. So it's been a whole different thing, dealing with stuff that's been live. We're gonna have a guest next week. I take a victory lap over this Mr. Trubisky shit because I told y'all niggas, and I also
I saw that clip too. I said,
I know he's your Detroit
whole name.
I know he's your Detroit brother, but I had to go in on A-Rob too. I saw them games last year.
Yeah,
I saw the nigga throw up the diamond for the shots was fired. Like I seen it last year.
I was rooting for him, man. Like you said, I always root for my the hometown guys, the guys from back home, but I mean, you got to call it what it is, bro. You know what
call
I'm saying? You was
a
right.
spade, man.
Yeah, you was right. You know, that's what it is. Like you said it ain't always about being right, man. But shit,
sometimes
I was right though. You know, so talking
sometimes
shit.
it is, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know to follow us on Twitter, man. Follow BarbersChatNet at BarbersChatNet. Patreon.com/BarbersChat Network. The paywall is going back up on Monday. So by the time you hit us, the paywall will be back up. So no more free episodes, man. So subscribe to the 3 different tiers we got. The Barberchat shop is coming soon to bcnet.com, man. We gonna holler at y'all, man. We are out.